MZ caught up with him. He says he wants to play for a good team and one that wants him. And I do believe, I put this out there a couple of weeks ago, I think if Matt Stafford leaves the Rams, Aaron Rodgers is their choice. And I don't think the Rams want to get rid of Matt Stafford, but he has made $360 million. I would stay in Los Angeles. Stan Kroenke, Les Snead, Sean McVay, indoor weather. He's got a place by the beach. He played for a loser for 12 years in Detroit. He got beat up. Rams have a good offensive line, a run game, Puka Nacua, and a great offensive coach. I would not leave the Rams. You can't just chase money. There's got to be more to it than that. And if he goes to the Steelers or the Giants, and those are the rumored teams, those are bad offensive lines. And those are offensively inept teams. But my take is if he leaves, Aaron Rodgers will be the choice over a Sam Darnold. Here's why. The Jets had one of the worst coaching staffs in the league after Robert Saleh left. And yet Aaron Rodgers' last 10 games, and I've been a critic of him, they're pretty good. 18 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's pretty good. Now, he doesn't want to get hit anymore, and he doesn't move like he used to, and he's past his prime. But when he finally found his rhythm after that ACL surgery, Aaron wasn't terrible. Secondly, Sean McVay likes a good project. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff. Third is Aaron doesn't want to play forever. He doesn't want a 4-year contract. He's probably got a year or two left, wants to hang out in the weekends, that he's not playing at his Malibu mansion. So I think it works. And I think, again, there's an old saying on Wall Street, buy the dips, right? Saquon Barkley, better than his value on the market. Derrick Henry, Ravens, smart team, better than his value. Right now, the pendulum has swung so far with Aaron Rodgers, he is undervalued. And I love Sam Darnold, but I think he's overvalued. I think everything worked for Sam Darnold, the left tackle, the coach, the wide receivers, the run game, the division. And I love Sam, but he's a little overvalued now. Aaron now, buy the dip. He's undervalued. He may not be a $50 stock, but he's certainly not a $12 stock. And if you can give me those numbers with a second, third-tier Jets coaching staff, go get him. And by the way, people say, well, has Aaron been humbled? Aaron is what Aaron is. He's complex. The vaccine stuff turned off a lot of media people. I don't think the public cared, but the media did, and they've just decided Aaron's not worth anything. Yes, he is. And one of the things that's very attractive, Stafford right now is a bad contract relative to the top quarterbacks in the league. I mean, I think right now he's paid less than Tua. That shouldn't be the case, okay? But the Rams are going to play hardball, and the Rams have leverage here. And their leverage is we're well run, and the teams that want you, the Raiders, the Giants, and the Steelers offensively, aren't. So the Rams have leverage here. And I do think there's a chance that Stafford's going to have a market, and the Steelers or the Giants or the Raiders are going to make a bid on him because I think he has 2 really good years left and maybe 3. And if that happens, I said it 2 weeks ago, and I believe it. I think McVay could get a really, really good year out of Aaron Rodgers. And because they have a great defense, I mean, it gave Jalen Hurts all sorts of problems in the snow. What did he throw for, 64 yards in that divisional playoff game? You saw Jalen Hurts against the Commanders and the Chiefs up and down the field. He didn't do that. Didn't do it against that Rams defense, young and getting better. It's not a team that'll be carried by the quarterback. You're not going to ask Aaron Rodgers to be a savior. It's got much more of a Tom Brady to Tampa feel. We got good players. We got an offensive coach. Can you keep this thing humming and make 6 to 7 big throws a game? That's it. It is much more Brady to Tampa than it is Russell Wilson to Denver or Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. So keep your eye. If Stafford leaves, I think Aaron's the answer. And I don't think it's Darnold. I think Darnold right now, it's getting a little rich, in my opinion. J-Mac with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Hey, let's start with the Super Bowl champion. Philadelphia Eagles smashed the Chiefs in a blowout season, Colin. OC Kellen Moore took the job in New Orleans, and Philly recently promoted their pass game coordinator, Kevin Patullo, to replace Kellen Moore, and A.J. Brown is very fired up about this new promotion.
I truly feel like it's a great hire. He already has been involved in almost everything. Him, Kellen, and Nick basically called the plays already. It's a great hire, and he's already familiar with us. We have a great relationship, and he knows what we need to work on because he's been there, and he's been there for a while. And like I said, he's already been a part of all the situations and the conversations and everything. So I think it's a great hire.
I was thinking about this morning when I saw this story. In just a couple of years, this is what's happened to the NFL. Bill Belichick is now coaching the 23rd best college football program in the country, and Nick Sirianni is routing Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. I don't think this is a coaching team. I think it's a roster that is built by a GM. I think there's a lot of different ways to win in the NFL. This team is winning with their GM and their quarterback and their roster.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Jalen Hurts is about to have his 4th offensive coordinator in 4 years. I mean, they had Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and now Patullo. I just wondered, last time they promoted Johnson, remember, after Steichen left, it was a mess. There were a lot of problems. It was like, that's Jalen Hurts' guy. I mean, Patullo is promoted from within. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not ready to go Eagles will repeat. They're certainly in the mix. They're one of the 5 best teams in the league. We'd agree.
No, they'll be, it's a loud city. It'll be a loud off season. That's what Philadelphia does.
That division, Jaden Daniels is here, and Matt Stafford, we started that Super Bowl week. Remember?
You did. You started it 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. You said Stafford the Giants, and you were right.
And now we'll see. Well, it's not done, but that division all of a sudden gets much tougher. We'll get to Dallas shortly. They're not going to be tough. But the NFC North is stacked. I don't think the Eagles are a gimme to repeat. It's going to be a great, great NFC next season, Colin. Let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys, who lost Dak to that torn hamstring, remember, in Week 9, ending their season. Dallas will have a healthy Dak next season, but according to EVP Stephen Jones, they want to draft a quarterback. Listen, we know the messaging from Dallas is always crazy. They're now saying ahead of the combine, we want to draft a quarterback. Really? That's like one of your needs? Colin, they say Cooper Rush is probably going to be priced out by Dallas as the backup.
He will.
Trey Lance has been the 3rd stringer back-to-back years. He's probably not going to do that again.
Right.
Wants a crack somewhere. I don't know if he's going to get it. And now a quarterback is needed. We saw Zach Martin retired last week.
I'll make an argument. This is a great year. Could be a great year to draft a backup quarterback. Like, I think there's a lot of guys that aren't ready to start in the NFL. Kyle McCord, Riley Leonard,
you're talking about them
Jackson Dart. Those guys are not ready to start in the NFL right now. They all could be with a year or two behind somebody. Like last year was a year that Jaden Daniels was ready to play. Bo Nix had 61 college starts. He was ready to play. Caleb Williams. This year's class, outside of Cam Ward and Shadur, I like Jalen Milroe. He's not ready to start in the NFL. So this year if you're looking for a backup for 2 years, this is not a terrible quarterback class. It is lacking start right away talent.
So I would agree, good time to find a backup. But Dallas has needs all over the place.
Oh, I know.
You can't be taking a quarterback in the 2nd round when you're the Cowboys. Listen, there's a world where they're like a 5-win team next year, and then you even have a better draft pick.
That world you're talking about is a reality. That's not that you're not being over the top. Zach Martin retired.
The Zach Martin retirement.